Glasgow, we have Kukos, number 21. We have CJ and Marcos Echeverria in the backcourt. Also, Lou Eaton up front.
Big game for Winthrop tonight, Shane. Winthrop's on the bubble and making the tournament. They've got Glasgow at home and Salem at home in the next couple of weeks, and they're going to have to win one of those two games. One of those two games to have an outside shot at getting into the tournament.
Not an easy time coming up for them. Here's the tip. Ended up being won by the Vikings.
31 Potos, just a freshman.
Balls across now, that's Doherty. There's Michael Gavin up top, and covered by Kukos.
Glasgow straight up man-to-man.
Here's Doherty taking the jump over Sanchez. Rebounded by Johnson. Here comes CJ now, pushing it up court. He's going to take the drive himself, laying it up. It's strong, rebounded by Gavin.
It's Poto in the rebound.
Poto?
Yeah.
Blocked in, we'll have a foul on Eaton.
Well, looked like Lewis had all ball there. Very interested to see right now if Winthrop makes a two foul shot, see if they don't know any pressure or see what type of defense they're going to play straight up against Glasgow. Glasgow, in the meantime, has had a couple of lackluster performances the last couple of games. A 1-point win against Swampscott a week ago tonight, and then just a 10-point win against Beverly the other night. And Beverly cut their lead to 4 in the second half. So Coach Glasgow really needs his team to step up and start playing well to peak at the right time going into the tournament.
Well, Eaton picks up his first foul here early. He was a major factor in that game against Beverly. His Beverly coach says his presence was definitely known down low.
Well, they got a triangle in two. They got a guy straight up on Marcos and a guy straight up on Calvin.
He lofted into Eaton. Eaton now working in. Soft jumper doesn't fall. Rebound comes down into Gavin's hands.
You know, they got a good shot off against that defense, and that's what Coach Grasser wants, get the ball in the Lewis low against that triangle.
He pushed it in down low. There was Poto going through the lane. Foul. Going to be on Julio Sanchez, 31.
Second foul on Glasgow. We haven't played a minute.
Non-shooting foul. It'll be below the basket. Inbounding the ball is Danny Godfrey.
Winthrop, a very good three-point shooting team, Shane. They made one fella made 8 three-pointers in one game. I believe it was Doherty.
Yeah, I believe it was. Number 14, Todd Doherty. Blocked by Eaton. As I said, his presence will be known down low. Here comes Marcos now, Echeverria. He has CJ way wide open over on the right. CJ's three rolls around and rebounded by Doherty.
Galvin's 55 points for breaking the all-time scoring record at Glasgow.
And his cousin Dave Anderson.
The way he started out tonight, checking that three, looks like he's ready to get them all tonight.
Here's Kukos now dropping back to Eaton.
Well, you know, they got the triangle too, and Coach Grass is taking a page out of Coach Fisty's book. He's got the big man bringing the ball up and taking Calvin and Marcos out of their offense. Kukos steps up and hits the J. That's what Coach Grass, you can see Tommy's been expecting this, and it's great for him to see it before the tournament begins. You can tell they've been practicing on it.
From behind the draft back dribble by Poto. It's Doherty driving, lays it up, and we'll have a goaltending call on Eaton.
Good call that time. He was up there. And I got to tell you, his elbow was over the rim.
Yeah, he can get up there. Earlier game this year, he took an alley-oop and he put it down. Here comes Louis now, bringing it over half again.
What you got to do against this triangle is run your guys off of screens, and he's doing that right now.
Eaton for two. He was on the line. Rebound Doherty. Here comes Poto. Ball stolen by Marcos. Here he comes. He has Calvin coming in the lane. Up and in for CJ.
Yeah, Lewis Eaton needs to get the ball down low. He doesn't need to be taking three-pointers, that's for sure.
Especially with his jumping ability down low. Calvin almost with the steals. He's pressuring Godfrey. That's Sanchez going through the lane. Rebound by Eaton.
Well, you know what happens? Eaton blocks the first two shots, and you get in there, you get a little timid going in.
Nice pass by Marcos over to Kukos. And Sanchez finding Marcos wide open down low for his first two of the game.
Someone lost an assignment there for him to be that wide open.
Now we got Doherty now taking the ball back up. takes her to the paint. Jumper, rolls off, rebound Marcos. Marcos pass up to Calvin. Calvin's attacked.
This is certainly not the type of game that Winthrop wants to get into with a run and gun type situation. They want to lock the ball up.
They can't run with this class team.
If they want to do that, they're in for a long night. They're going to have to wait, make 3 or 4 passes, and try to get an easy shot.
Rebounded by Sanchez. Here comes Doherty to bring the ball up again. He's going to push it up. Almost losing it.
Oh, they set that up nice.
Nice, and it drops. Nice shot taken there by Gavin. He rolls around the rim.
They made the 3 or 4 passes, they cleared an area out, and they went. They got to be patient on offense. Glasgow digs it in defensively. They're going to come at you. If you want to get a running game with you, they're going to give it to you. They want you to step up with them.
Gavin ties the score up here with 12:45 at 6 apiece. Here comes Marcos now. He'll be taking the ball over. He's being covered by Anthony Pardo. Pardo runs into a big pick by Sanchez. Air ball by Marcos. Picked up by Sanchez, Scott Sanchez of the Vikings.
Coach Grasser trying to free up Marcos or Calvin, running them off the screens against this defense. Nice triangle and 2, which a triangle means 3 guys are playing a triangle zone under the basket.
Blocked by Marcos. A little kicking it up there. Marcos pushing it up the floor, taking it in himself. It rolls out. Rebound inside by
Yeah, he's
Pardo.
on the floor too. He went down pretty hard. Winthrop has a 5 and 4 right now. And Eaton's present, really.
Yeah, he's... Pardo, excuse me. Gavin laying it up and in. Now CJ is going to take over the ball. He takes a 3 and it rolls around the rim and out and rebounded by Sanchez. Eaton down there. Excuse me, that was Calvin.
Calvin, get up there. Nice. Look like Lewis with the big arms.
It ended up being Calvin's arms getting up there. Getting over the defense.
Once again, Winthrop has to slow it down, make the 4 or 5 passes against the man-to-man, and that's right, and see if they can pop somebody open. There it is, right there.
Open, blocked by Eaton again.
But you know what? You're still going to take it to him. You're still going to do it. They're getting easy layups. Lewis Eaton's blocking it, but the lane's opening up. You got to get down and fill it.
Matt Lorino checks in as Eaton will take a seat.
It'll take him long to pick up that first foul. Thought he had all ball. Looks like he got him with the ball. 4th team foul on Glasgow. Just about 11 minutes straight up left in the half. So they could be in the one-on-one probably the last 7 or 8 minutes. If Winthrop keeps taking the ball to the line, that's what to the hole. I mean, you're going to end up in the foul line.
Doherty drops his first. Out and rebounded and put back by Scott Sanchez. Well, Winthrop now up 11-8 here early in the first half. That's Bartow putting the ball up. Rebound by Lorino, put back and in.
Strong rebound by Lorino. Good position. Glasgow with the full court pressure right now.
Calvin almost with the steal. We're going to have a foul coming up on Julio Sanchez. He'll reach in.
Well, we've been speaking about it right along. That's the 5th foul. Good call by Coach Grasser. Good call, and see if they can put a little pressure on Winthrop. They've been beating the man-to-man. Winthrop's been beating the man-to-man. Now they go in 2-3 zone. Now we'll look for the 3-point shooters in Winthrop, see if they can free somebody up for a 3-point shot. There it is.
Dropped. That's Doherty. His first 3 of the game.
I should be coaching somewhere, don't you think?
It's Bartow now taking the ball over half.
The Glasgow has to be patient here. They can't let this 4-point deficit make them play too much.
Strong. Rolls out to Calvin. Calvin, sweet touch, puts it in. That's a 6-point here.
Yeah, he got a little push after that one, too. He could have ended up at the line.
Doherty with the up fake from 3. It goes, but it doesn't count.
No, I think he called it outside, yeah. Tommy Grasser, Coach Grasser shaking his head over there.
That's 6. That one's on Bartow. Coming back in will be Big Louie. Taking a seat will be Julio Sanchez, his first seat of the game.
Well, they get the big guys in there now down below with Lorino and Lewis. But they're playing a 2-3 zone, and the three-point shot should be there if they swing the ball.
Tip. Ball's coming to us. Marcos right in front of us, and it's going to be Vikings ball. As you see Marcos there walking away.
Quick hustle by Marcos. Yeah,
always
great job. I'll tell you what, Winthrop keeps floating the passes like that outside.
It's going to be taken.
Eaton
again with his third. We have over 9 minutes left. Eaton has 1 rebound, 3 blocks. His presence is being felt down there. Rebound Lorino, we're going to have over the back on Godfrey. Danny Godfrey called for this foul, only the second on the Vikings. The Rams ball. 14-12. Winthrop Vikings up here. Still early in the first half.
Now Lorino's going to set a screen for Calvin here.
Calvin stumbles off the screen, gets the ball back, lays it up, and it ends up dropping. Calvin starting off fast so far tonight with 8.
Yeah. Nice play set up there. Malorino, big body. Calvin takes his man and runs into the screen, receives the ball. Nice play by Coach Grasser.
Here's Godfrey being pressured by Calvin. And rolling into Godfrey. His Jay missed. Rebound Sanchez. Eaton.
Yeah. Lewis's presence is just altering a lot of shots inside right now.
Here's Calvin giving it back to Bartow. His shot. He's short, front rimmed.
Winthrop has to show some patience here.
Almost taken by Marcos. Here's Pardo. It's passed to Godfrey. Godfrey, somehow that ball ends up rolling in. 16-14. Vikings ahead right now.
Well, this is the type of the game that we're looking at. Winthrop's been playing very well as of late. Coach Grasser was a little worried coming to this one.
Shot by Marcos. Rebound by number 22, Paul Struzero. Going up, shot strong by Scott Sanchez. Eaton again, another board.
Sanchez did a good time that time using the rim for a screen over Lewis, but he's still going to make the shot.
Doherty takes down the bound up, and Johnson missed shot. Alley-oop, strong. Ball goes out off of Paul Struzero.
Yeah, you really can't afford to have those type of turnovers against Glasgow. If you've got the ball, you don't want to rush it. You see Steve Fotopoulos is getting ready to check in for Glasgow. He's an ideal player to play against this diamond and two because it really opens up the corners for three-point shooting. He's a wonderful shooter.
Calvin ends up missing. Picking up the loose ball will be Todd Doherty. Doherty taking it right into the hole. Blocked again by Eaton. He is all over the paint.
Like an octopus
all
up
over
there.
the paint.
Oh, what a move.
Beautiful cross, and Marcos just missing it. Ball's loose down low. It's be out on Vikings. It'll be the Rams ball.
What an incredible crossover dribble by Marcos Echeverria. Faked not only his man, but everyone else on the floor. Right out of the gym. Just didn't convert the layup.
Show the kind of crossover dribble Jason Kidd of California Golden Bears possesses out there.
Probably my favorite college player right now. I really like to watch him play.
He's really fun to watch. Fotopoulos checks in, first shot, rolls off. Big Country Lorino shot missed. Rebound and picking up by Anthony Pardo.
That's still a nice job. Nice offensive rebound.
Calvin,
just couldn't get it.
We shouldn't have backcourt. No, excuse me. Calvin hit the ball, yeah. There's Danny Godfrey in the corner. Hands up, trying to roll it. Finger roll, rebound, Eaton.
Big game thus far for Lewis Eaton.
He has no points. Here's Calvin for three. It goes.
And he got knocked down. Winthrop's going to get a timeout.
Well, this game is for the Rams so far has been a two-person show. It's been Johnson 11 points and Eaton no points, but 4 rebounds, 4 blocks, and controlling the paint. He's inside. All 4 of his rebounds have been defensive rebounds so far.
Well, on the other hand there, Winthrop has to show some patience. They got class going. They only fouled trouble. They still have 16 fouls. They've had that 16 fouls since about the 10-minute mark. There's 6:28 left. They haven't shown any patience on offense. Glasgow's defense, on the other hand, has stepped up and taken Winthrop out of their offense. Winthrop has to try to get the ball in low, try to head fake Eaton if they can, and try to get into the one-on-one situation if it's possible.
Yeah, what they're doing is coming straight at Eaton every time.
Yeah.
Well, he'll come from behind when they're trying to run it up on pressure it up on the court. And Eaton
Lewis is saying, bring it on.
Yeah.
Just bring
He's
it to me.
got that jumping ability.
Yeah.
You're not going to out-jump. Nobody on the Vikings team is going to out-jump Lewis Eaton.
Well, you know, you can be a wonderful jumper and not a great shot blocker. You know, I give you Aaron Fox for an example. He's an offensive player. Lewis Eaton can jump also, but he's got that technique of blocking shots, which I haven't seen in Aaron Fox to this point.
Ball's tipped by Sanchez. Here comes Calvin pushing it up. Going alone, and 13 points for CJ.
Glasgow stays down in a 1-2-2 zone.
Ball pushed in down low. That's Godfrey left hand Cook. Doesn't go. Eaton with another bound.
This is the best I've seen Lewis Eaton look all year.
Yeah, he's coming out strong here in the first half. Here's Calvin going in the lane, and it just rolls off. Go ahead. Over the back on Sanchez.
Yes. Now we're going to go into one-on-one situation. 1-on-1 to see if we can remember, if the referees remember who's going to be shooting this one now. If I was the Winthrop coach right now, I'd tell my best shooter to go to the line.
Yeah. They'll be sending Godfrey to the line. Danny Godfrey, number 15, as you see him there in your screen walking up. We have 5:41 left, and Glasgow's now in the foul. In the penalty. And Godfrey puts down the first.
Yeah, Winthrop to this point has only committed 2 fouls. Or should I say, only been called for 2 fouls.
Godfrey will be at the line for a second. It goes 19-18.
Yeah, they get Marcos right back in the game. Calvin's going to get a well-deserved rest.
He's worked hard here in the first half.
Winthrop's a straight man-to-man now, full court pressure. See if they clear out and set something up for Marcos in this situation on Lewis.
Here's Marcos now setting up the offense. Picks up the dribble early. Lynch steals it, blocked, but foul coming up on Marcos Echeverria.
Yeah, they tried to set, Glasgow tried to set up the alley-oop for Eaton down the other end. Now, if they show that man-to-man again, Winthrop, look for Marcos to try to set it up for Lewis one more time.
Just seemed on that play, he picked up this dribble early, and they came right up pressuring. First shot strong by Dave Lynch. This is his first action here in the game. Hits a second, knocks the game up at 19. Ball coming back. Marcos now going to push it up court. He's driving hard, lays it up, he'll take the foul.
Ooh,
Foul will be on Godfrey.
Marcos was down the court in about 2 seconds there. We also have Rich Ramsey in the line for Lynn Glasgow, who's been a great story this year. Stepped up and done a wonderful job.
Here's Marcos at the line for his first of 2. That right there is his first point of the game. Excuse me, his third. Marcos prepared to take a second shot, try to push the lead up to 2. Goes.
Well, it seems as though it's been all Glasgow this far with Lewis's blocks and Calvin's points, but they had a 2-point lead. Winthrop's hanging around.
They're sticking around.
Glasgow staying right in that zone. It's like a 1-2-2 or 3-2, trying to shut down the 3-point shot. They have to try to attack the weakness of the seams, which is the elbows at this point, and move the ball without dribbling it.
Lynch now up top, over to Struzero. Doherty for the jumper. Strong rebound comes into Ramsey's hands. Which Ramsey pushes it up to Marcos. Marcos, nice bounce pass to Sanchez. Ball rolls off the rim. Rebounded by Struzero. We'll put it up top to Lynch. Lynch gonna use his dribble here. Doherty for three. Hits back of the rim. Comes out, rebound Lynch. He tries to bullet pass it down low to Casey Butler.
That was a nice pass. It just wasn't, Butler wasn't ready for it. That's all.
Coming back in is Matt Larino, sitting down with Julio Sanchez. Calvin's also making his way back in while Ramsey will take a seat.
Winthrop straight up man-to-man now with this lineup. No triangle right now.
Calvin's shot, a three, goes short. Rebounded by Lynch. It's
You can't float those passes with that quickness.
Struzero's shot from three doesn't go. Open down low. It's already blocked, and that was Eaton. That was Eaton again for his
From nowhere.
Out of nowhere, as you said, he gets another one.
What an incredible play.
Here's Eaton now driving it. His shot strong. Put back doesn't go by Larino. Second time, nothing. Rebound, and the ball goes under the hands of Dave Lynch. Taking a three is Doherty as he stepped back for that, and he'll give them the lead. Classical now going to call a timeout. And Doherty stepped back. He's their three-point man. He stepped back and pushes the lead in for him right now. 22-21.
Coach Grass is screaming at his troops. Absolutely screaming at the troops over here. He's not Mike tonight because I'd really like to know what he was saying. It's too bad. He looks very upset with all five guys not getting back on defense. It looks as though that's what he's speaking about. Winthrop, on the other hand, Lewis Eaton's coming up with all these blocks, and Winthrop's hanging around. It is like a lid over the basket for Classical down the other end. Larino's missed a couple of easy layups. Jason Harris got in there, and Sanchez. Ball's just not falling. Those are the type of shots you want. They're going in and out. You keep getting those easy shots, you're going to win the ball game. There's our scoreboard. Great job by our cameraman, producer, director, David McCarthy. Super Dave.
As known around this great country.
Wonderful job.
Those both teams set to take it onto the court.
Gonna get a good chance to read that clock. We have 3:25 left in the first half. Winthrop holding on to a 1-point lead.
Here's Calvin going in the lane. Ball's lost. Calvin dives for it. Ball's still loose. It's going to roll out. Should be the Rams ball.
Wow, does that look like a football game down there or what? Calvin, great job getting to the floor for the loose ball. It's very nice to see.
Michael says the ball tip. Stolen into the hands of Lynch. Struzero's pass down low. Ball doesn't roll, and Eaton with another rebound. Here's Calvin pushing it up, laying it up strong. Eaton! Wow, was he up there? Larino gets fouled on the putback, but was Eaton up there on that? He shot that from behind his head.
Jeez, he's up and down the floor. I think Tommy Grotson, whatever he said there during that timeout, those kids came out hustling like crazy. Had a great defensive set down the other end.
You see big country Matt Larino set to take his first of two shots as he was fouled trying to put back the Eaton miss.
Gavin replaces Stuziano.
Gets back to the rim, comes right back at him.
Yeah. Looks like there's a little lid over this basket. Yeah. Maybe it'll be there for Winthrop in the second half.
It goes, tying the score up 22-22. Here's Pardo. Lynch putting it into the corner to Doherty.
You know, Coach Grimes from Winthrop's telling him to be patient.
Doherty putting it up, but it's strong. Rebound Eaton. Pass up ahead to Calvin, stripped out of bounds. We ran the ball.
We'll get that ball up quick. I don't know, Shane, maybe a little too early to say, but I think we're in for a real nice game tonight, right down to the end.
Gonna bring it up top to Julio Sanchez.
Winthrop back in the diamond.
But Calvin running baseline for three. It goes!
Oh, boy!
Unbelievable.
Boy, had two guys draped all over him. He got that one to fall.
Now we're gonna have a travel. Pardo walked. Excuse me, it wasn't Pardo, it was Michael Gavin. 43.
What's that, 16 points for Calvin right now? Is that what we got?
Yeah, he's got 16 right now.
16 out of the 25. Not bad.
He's doing the scoring, and Eaton's doing everything else. Rebounding and blocking. Here's Calvin's pass almost stolen to Marcos. Marcos back up top to Calvin for a deep three. It doesn't go. Rebound Eaton with the long arms. He puts it back for his first two of the game.
Calvin made that one. They might have given him 4. That was from another area code. That was
way back, yeah. There's Gavin now. It's Truzero now looking around, trying to rifle it through, but Marino gets a hand on it. Spin move, shot. It's blocked by Eaton, but we'll have a foul coming up. It could be on Marino. Foul's on Sanchez.
Yeah, his second. Well, they'd rather give it to Sanchez than Lewis Eaton as far as Coach Grice is concerned. And all of a sudden, Glasgow's crept up with a 5-point lead with a minute 24 left. So these foul shots are all that important for Winthrop.
First one doesn't go. And Scott Sanchez and the Vikings on the line. That's the kind of team Glasgow is. I mean, just a second ago, we ran a 22-22 deadlock and quick 5-point run. You had Calvin running on the baseline, 3-pointer. Sanchez's second goes, cutting it down to 4. With a minute 20 left.
Glasgow can afford to be very patient right now, get a good shot.
Calvin over to Bateau. Marcos taking it in, pulls up for the jumper, doesn't go, ball's loose. Rebounded by Pardo. For a little guy, he's had a couple rebounds tonight.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to watch him play Suayola last year until...
Truzero.
Look at this!
Oh my God!
Lewis Eaton blocked the shot to the ground, went up and went
bounced
in.
back up and in. Oh my God, we're seeing it all tonight here.
We might get Dave McCarthy to send that to ESPN for Play of the Week. We may have that on there.
Unbelievable. 27-25 as Eaton cuts the lead down to 2.
Yeah. That's a good defensive stand, though.
Yeah.
39 seconds left in the half.
Calvin right now being covered by Gavin.
Now they're going to hold for 1.
Bartow's just going to dribble the ball down. They're going to look for the last shot here. We have just about 20 seconds now left in here in the half.
Yeah, Coach Grimes tells him let it hold him. You know, Coach Grimes, if he goes in down by 2, they're going to be very happy. That's right.
Victory. There's Marcos. Bartow back to Marcos, stepping behind for 3. Rebound still loose. Here's Gavin. Gavin's shot. Short. And as you said, moral victory here.
Let me say something about that shot that Marcos had a wide open 2-pointer.
He stepped
He
back.
looked down to see where the 3-point shot was and stepped back. I guarantee you 80% of the time when you see a kid step back to take a shot, you're going to miss the shot. If you got a wide open 2-pointer, take it. Take it. That's it. Just go with it and play.
Well, we're going to take a break here now at halftime. Score 25-27. Classical ahead.
It is vitally important that we all support the Humane Society of the United States and its proposed ban on breeding dogs and cats. Too many dogs and cats are sentenced to lives of misery, and too many animals are sentenced to death because they are being bred without regard to reliable placement in responsible homes. We can no longer spend money to kill animals who never should have been born in the first place. We can't afford it on any level, ethically, morally, emotionally, or financially.
Welcome back here. We're just about ready. As Marcos gets the ball from Calvin.
Winthrop opens up with the diamond and 2 again, on a triangle and 2, excuse me. And Klasko's off to go with the bigger lineup with Lorino,
Ball into
Sanchez.
Sanchez will be going to the line. In right now for the Rams here, we have Calvin, Julio Sanchez, Big Lou Eaton, Marcos Echeverria, and Big Country Matt Lorino.
Yeah, I think Coach Graza feels though they got out-rebounded that half by a smaller Winthrop team, and I think he's going for the bigger lineup, see if they can control the boards.
Well, a couple times, little Anthony Pardo, number 31, come up.
Yeah.
3 or 4 rebounds that half.
I believe he's a freshman, if not a sophomore. 2 bricks that time by Sanchez, by the way.
Almost taken by shot goes up and in. Danny Godfrey. Game again, tied right back up here as we're just underway in the second half.
Let's see if they send these screens off this triangle.
Sanchez, his jumper strong.
Nice touch off the glass. Glasgow with the full court pressure here. Lorino on the ball, that's interesting.
Here's Danny Godfrey. He's going to go into the lane, pushing, tried to get the pass over to 12, Scott Sanchez, but ends up going out.
Got to show a little bit of patience there.
No need to push the ball. Get them do what they got him here. Slow it up and just play half-court offense. They try to get the ball into Lorino. It goes out off the hands of Scott Sanchez.
Yeah, I think Matt got away with a little push there.
Marcos looks deep to
Winthrop
Calvin.
got away with an awful lot the first half.
Calvin's first shot in the second half doesn't go. Rebound by Sanchez. He's got to come off with the first 4 here.
That big lineup by Coach Grasser is paying dividends right now off the boards.
Sanchez gets beaten on the dribble by Pardo. His shot rolls around and in.
And he took it right into the big guy. Nice move. A lot of confidence.
Here's Marcos now with the ball. Lorino right now with the ball. Gives it back over to Sanchez. Here's Calvin. Calvin's shot short, but he was fouled.
Yeah, that's what they're. That's
43.
That's the foul Calvin was looking for in the first half. And looks as though he's going to get it now. Winthrop now picks up their second team foul, and none for Klasko, so it's pretty much a reversal as to what happened in the first half. Calvin thought he was shooting that time, and they called that foul on the floor.
Calvin for 3, short. Rebound by Godfrey. His pass high. Pardo blocked by Calvin Johnson. Eaton comes up with the ball. Here's Marcos pushing it in over to Calvin. Easy lay-in for his 18th
Calvin made the block, ran the floor, and got the layup on the break, which was nice.
Here's Pardo now. He looks like he used his arm on Calvin. Nothing called there. Inside, Scott Sanchez again. Eaton with the block. No surprise there. No surprise. His pass goes off the rack. That should be backcourt. Nothing called. And we're going to have a foul. It'll be on Matt Lorino, blocking on the baseline.
Klasko's playing with an awful lot of intensity right now. All over the floor. Very impressed with Calvin and the hustle and the performance he's putting on offensively and defensively tonight.
Sanchez for his shot. Missed. Falls around. Sanchez ends up with it. We'll get block and foul on Marcos. Marcos looked as if he's had position, and that's what Coach Grass is yelling about.
Not only Coach Grass, you got Dave Dempsey, the football coach, Nick Crossan, the Klasko principal, and Ricky Arabino, behind the Glasgow bench going crazy right now.
That's going to put Scott Sanchez on the line. 4-2. Marco's going to come off. So he hit the floor hard.
I'll tell you what, if Kenny Turner had any hair, he'd be pulling it out right now. He's over there going crazy himself.
Well, Sanchez puts his lead back down to 3, has a chance to cut it to 2. He goes. Right now you see Calvin.
There's a little half-court trap right now by Winthrop.
Calvin with the ball back over to Bartow. Eaton calling for it inside. Bartow lofts it. Nothing Eaton can do with that pass. Bartow now losing it, stripped on the way up. Marino shot goes. That Marino foul ball shooting, the shot goes. He'll be at the line for one, trying to convert a 3-point play. What they called the foul on number 43, Michael Gavin. Marino now will be on the line for one.
Marino with a nice 3-point play. It's the way to finish.
Shot up. And did he get a piece of that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he did, but he certainly offered the shot.
Calvin, Bartow for 3, miss long. Here comes Gavin pushing it up. He's going to take it. Could have been a charge, nothing called. Here's Calvin. Calvin takes the shot up. He gets hidden from behind. He'll be at the line. Take 2 shots. This time it will be a shooting foul.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to call everything this half, you know. When you get the referees out there and you get the fans hollering and the players hollering and the coaches hollering, they can accommodate you. You want them to call everything out there, they can do it. Everyone will be here till about 11 o'clock. That's what they want to do.
Coming back in will be Struzero, Paul Struzero. Taking a seat will be the sophomore, Anthony Pardo. Calvin collects his 20th in the night.
35 short of the all-time record.
Gavin, Doherty, it goes, it's a 3. Brings them back down by 4.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely their weapon, it's the 3-point play. Calvin's going to call a timeout as Coach Grasso wants to talk it over. They're up by 4 now, 38-34.
Yeah, Calvin, I mean, Coach Grasso doesn't like to see them get that uncontested 3-point shot up there. And really, they've shut off the inside with Sanchez and Lewis and Marino inside. Now he wants the guards to step up and make sure that they don't get any uncontested 3-point shots. Winthrop is known as a 3-point shooting team. Probably made more threes than any team in the Northeastern Conference. So Coach Grasso has shut off the inside, which is nice. Now he's going to step up, shut off the outside. Glasgow kids are doing a terrific job right now.
Well, here it is. We have 12:25 left in the second half, and obviously in the first half, Glasgow only has 2 fouls on the other side of the ball. Vikings have 4, and they're going to be looking at some foul trouble early.
Yeah, pretty much a reversal in the first half, and you know, Calvin was looking for a couple fouls, a lot of hands-on in the first half, and now he's picked them up in the second, and Stobie doesn't get too selfish and keep chucking them up looking for the foul.
Get the ball into Calvin. He's being covered by Gavin. Sanchez in down low. Eaton.
Oh, big time play. Nice play.
Big jumping ability. Here comes Struzero. Shot up, blocked by Eaton. Shot out. Marino ends up with the rebound.
Very bad play. Now Marino received the rebound on this side of the court. That's where you're supposed to make the outlet pass. He stepped in and threw it to the other side, right across the lane. That's a big no-no. Gave up the easy 2. Now, he didn't make the shot, but the kid's going to be on the line. You make a play like that, you end up losing the game by 1. It's a little fundamental thing like that. When you receive the ball on that side, he's going to step here, outlet this side, and get the fast break going.
Scott Sanchez puts down the first. cutting into the lead, 35. They have now, down by 5. Rebound by Julio Sanchez of the Rams. There's Calvin now. Bartow giving it to Eaton.
Watch for Eaton again down on the block on this stack, I believe. Here we go. That's his side. Now. They're looking for him.
Eaton triple team, uses the board, put it
nice
in.
Nice touch.
But did he call bullets? But we have a foul. Foul's gonna be on. I didn't see who they called the foul on. It's like
number 13. Who, unfortunately, we don't have a number for. I believe was moved up from the JVs. We'll do our best to see if we can find out who the young man is.
First shot goes for Paul's 2-0. Giving it to Ramsey, who's checked back into the game. Trying to get it into Sanchez, stolen by Doherty. Here comes Gavin. Has Trezero open on his left. Doherty for 3. Short front rims it. Loose ball picked up, pass around.
Oh, nice pass. Nice pass by Sanchez.
And the putback was by Danny Godfrey, number 15.
All of a sudden, we're back to a 3-point ball game. Marco's coming back to check in.
Rich Ramsey shot. Strong. Rebounded by Godfrey.
Now, we got to show some patience here, Shane, and look for a good one.
3 being taken by Godfrey. Rebounded big time by Eaton.
He only shot it way too soon. Way too soon.
Just right before that, you said take your time. Calvin behind the pick 3 doesn't go. Rebound again by Godfrey.
Look good from here, too. We were right in line with that. Just a little shot.
We have a foul on.
We got Ramsey on the push. 34, Bartow.
Foul be on Bartow. Coming back in is Lorino and Echeverria. Sitting down will be Ramsey and Bartow, who just picked up his second foul.
Yeah, Glasgow in the meantime has picked up 3 quick ones, and now they've got a team total of 5 for this half.
And they still have just over 10 minutes to play. Other side of the floor, that was Doherty. Putting it up to Gavin.
Glasgow straight up man-to-man here.
Three doesn't go. Rebound, Marino. He has Calvin up ahead. Marcos knows he's there, but he gives the pass to Sanchez. Sanchez, nice spin move. Puts it back off board.
That all started Matt Marino getting the rebound and putting it to the right side of the outlet. Right back comes Winthrop.
Now it's Paul Trezero with the lay-in.
When you run the play the way it's supposed to be run, you get the easy layup.
Here's Calvin now working off a Sanchez pick. Bring it back up top to Marcos. Marcos bringing it in. Marcos hits hard, he's down.
Yeah, he put his head down. He was loaded for beer that time. He was going through everyone. Call the foul on Winthrop.
As you see him there. There's a kid who takes a beating just about every game he plays. He plays it hard.
He sure does.
Puts up 120% in every game he steps onto the floor.
Very knowledgeable player out there. It's like having another coach out on the floor that he really knows what Coach Grass is looking for. Recognizes defenses very well.
Heads
pulls the
always in
ball
the game.
when he has to. Yeah, he's a very, very smart player.
He puts down his first of 2
He's
shots.
holding his chin there. It looks like he rattled the jaw a little bit there. Didn't bother the foul shot though.
We know one thing, you don't have a glass jaw. That's a sixth of the game. There's Gavin now giving it up to Sanchez. Double team in the corner. Now just eating their pass right. That's Calvin's hands. Calvin goes up. Shot not good. Rebounded by, that was Godfrey. Now here's Gavin, blocked by Eaton. The rebound by Scott Sanchez, put back and into the foul. Eaton with his 9th block of the night. He already has 9 rebounds, 9 blocks, 9 rebounds, 6 points for Louis Eaton.
Yeah, he's looking for a triple-double tonight. Just playing terrific, but Winthrop happened to be, ball fell right into the hand, laid it back in, now they're down 2.
Shot goes, and they're down 2.
They're hanging around, I'll tell you.
They keep Gavin on Calvin at all times with the shadow. Bartow. Bring it over, Marcos for 3. Nothing doing. Rebound Godfrey. Godfrey going deep. That's Trezero. Trezero will get the foul as Marcos got his hand on his back and push.
Well, you know, he made a great play with his hand, but he had his hand on the ball, and he had his other hand on the fella's back, which is automatically a foul when the guy's shooting. And I'll tell you something. You're 46-44 with 8:38 left in the game, and Classical clearly has outplayed this team. They clearly has. Between Eaton's rebounds, Marcos' defenses, Calvin's offense, it's just been incredible. And all of a sudden you look up and this team is hanging around. It's a very scary thought as a coach. You don't want to let a team,
see it too much,
especially when you're on the road, hang around with you. You're in their gym, and all of a sudden towards the end of the game, they're going to pick up and things are going to hurt you. Classical has clearly outplayed them on both ends of the floor. There's no questions about that. Winthrop's coming up with the ball and laying it in. Now, Classical's also in a one-on-one situation. Every time they foul, Winthrop's going to the line for a one-on-one. Winthrop has another foul to waste. We're still at the 8:38 mark of this half. We're in for a ball game. The guy's going to the line for one shot and making a one-point game.
Yeah, well, whenever you come to this gym, teams have a tough time playing in here. Just last year, Vikings beat Salem here in this gym, and every time you come here, the game's going to be close. And as you said, they're clearly being outplayed, but I don't know, something about this place.
Well,
they're hanging around.
And Winthrop's also playing for a shot to get in the tournament, you know? People realize it's a long shot. They really realize it's a long shot, but boy, this is where it starts. If they win this one, boy, they're on their way. Tied up.
We're tied right back up. 8:38. Bartow now going to try to pass half.
Lewis Eaton getting a well-deserved rest right now. You know, I'm not quite sure why Bartow's running the point at that time when you've got Marcos and Calvin in the game. You know, Marcos should be running the point there. Don't quite. Maybe they had some nice plays set up or something.
Well, Bartow's pass just ended up going astray and out of bounds.
Full court pressure by Classical.
Here's Gavin pushing it back to Doherty. Doherty, wild shot, goes.
Oh, Dipsy do.
It goes.
Threw it up from the hip.
And they're up 48-46. 8:10 left. Now Marcos with the ball. You get into Sanchez. Sanchez loses it, and he'll end up walking with it. And the Viking fans are starting to get in it now. They're picking up their noise level.
Yeah, here comes Lou Eaton back in. He could only afford to keep him out. He actually was out from the 8:38 mark. He was out for 32 seconds. But Coach Grosser can only afford to keep him on the bench at this juncture of the game.
Here's Godfrey now, shouting out the play. Gives it to Gavin. Gavin going to take it to the hole. Gives the pass off to Sanchez. Sanchez rolls out. And Julio Sanchez with the Rams at the bound.
Here's the lid over that basket we were talking about in the first half.
Marino diving through. Big hustling play. Gets the ball back for the Rams. Looked like it went off the leg of number 22, Paul Struzero.
Lorino cleared 3 people out that time. He really did. It was like a fumble, a loose ball fumble. Coach Dempsey taught him how to get in and get the fumble.
Calvin shot, short, ball's loose, should be out, should be Rams, but it'll be Vikings ball. Calvin's trying to argue Matthews point. And Ram's going to come up full court press here. They back off. Doherty's shot.
Well, you know, I got to tell you something very similar to what Coach Christie did at Klaus at that time. Klaus was playing full court man. The guy that Marcos was covering, he took him right down to the corner. Calvin's covering the guy that took him down the other corner to get the quickness away from the ball. The hand quickness to get away from the steal. Big guy, Sanchez's man brought the ball down. He's on the foul line.
Foul is on Julio Sanchez, and they're up by 3.
His 4.
His 4.
Sanchez's.
Oh. All of a sudden, they have a 4-point lead here, the Vikings do.
This will be a nice time for Glasgow to put some pressure on with Marcos and Calvin on the wings up front in a 1-2-1-1 zone press.
Ball on Eaton, his left-hand hook doesn't go. Rebound, put back and in. Eaton with his 10th rebound.
Now see, here's Marcos. See, his man's over here. Calvin's guy's all the way down to the corner. They got Lorino's guy this time bringing the ball up. They're taking Marcos and Calvin right out of it. Very good coaching by Peter Grimes. Right out of Arthur Fisty's book there. Playing right into their hands. Glasgow's playing right into their hands when they allow Marcos and Calvin to be taken out of it. Right there. I'm sorry.
Well, now at the line with the foul being on Eaton, only his second. We'll have number 12, Scott Sanchez, who's played a pretty tough game here tonight. And we have a 50-48 lead, 7:03 left in the second half.
Okay, Coach Grosser is going to have to recognize that. And the best thing he can do to combat that is to put Calvin and Johnson on the wings on a zone press. Maybe Lewis, Eaton, and Lorino on the ball out of bounds. And those guys on the wing, because you've got to really take advantage of their quickness. You have to do it.
Here's Marcos now taking the ball up.
With that
Marcos
triangle.
and Sanchez trading passes. Marcos' shot, it goes for 2.
Big time jump shot. Now watch, here we go again. Marcos' guy gives up the ball. It's going to take him out of the play. Marcos is starting to recognize it now. He's going to start cheating.
Pass goes, it'll be out off Eaton as Eaton broke up the pass from Gavin to Sanchez.
A little bit of patience now here on Winthrop. There should be in no hurry to get one up.
But Doherty takes it anyway, and it goes.
Doherty, yeah, he doesn't hesitate. He's their shooter.
Yep.
Approaching the 6-minute mark right now, and Winthrop's going in with a 4-point lead.
Here's Eaton now with the ball. Eaton trying to force a pass into the paint, and it's broken up and taken away by Danny Godfrey. Godfrey now pushing it in, right back up top. Godfrey down, taking it into the lane. We'll have the foul on
Nice
Eaton as
play,
he got
nice
way
play.
up there. As
Yeah,
I said
Lewis-
earlier,
yeah,
up
Lewis
fake Eaton,
knows.
up fake Eaton. And right now, 5:55, 54-50 Vikings lead, and we're definitely in for a game here tonight.
Yeah. Lewis know he got head faked that time. But geez, they're having 9 blocks right now. You got to commit a couple fouls. His 3rd foul, by the way, 5:55. Now Tommy's going to have to make some adjustments here in this timeout. You know, normally, talking about the coach Peter Grimes, he likes to change his defenses. So he's probably going to come out. They've been playing that triangle too. He may come out with that little half-court trap. Okay, so Tommy's going to have to make adjustments. But I'm telling you, he's got to recognize those kids being taken out of their defensive game. It's very similar to Salem with Mateo and Scooney Penn up front with their hands. I watched them in the Marblehead game, probably caused 8 or 10 or 12 turnovers. They were good for about 15 or 16 points. They ended up winning the game by 11. This is the same situation here. You've got to get Marcos and Calvin involved in your defense. They are so quick. Their hands are so quick. You can't let the other team take them out. You've got to make the adaptations to that.
Calvin's basically been quiet here in the second half. Only scoring around 4 points. He's still stuck at the 20-point mark.
Let's see if Winthrop presses after the foul shot by chance. Against Glasgow's quickness, it'll be tough. Now you got Lorino out of the ball game. You got Ramsey in. Now Glasgow's going with the quickness with Ramsey, Calvin, Marcos, Lewis, and Sanchez. See if they get in the running game now.
6-point lead. And then Marcos will be heading the offense. He long passes it to Ramsey, almost taken away. Ramsey holding the ball. Now Ramsey going to take a shot. That'll be long, and bad shot by Ramsey.
Winthrop brushing it up.
Gavin. Nice pass. In, down low, put back and in by Scott Sanchez. 8-point lead now for the Vikings.
Plenty of time left, 5.5 minutes.
No need to hit the panic
button. You can't force.
Calvin,
he really
doesn't
forced
go.
that.
Here's Gavin. Dumps it off. Shot goes. 10-point lead. They're biggest of the game here. Stuzero puts it back. Marcos now with the ball. He dumps it off. Ramsey's shot doesn't go, and here's the Vikings. All they got to do now is slow it down, bring it back to their game. As we're watching a shocker going on right here. A definite shocker is happening. 60, 54, 59 here left in the game.
Yeah, we're inside of 5 minutes. I'm not sure if that's the best time out in the world. Everything was going Winthrop's way, and Winthrop decides right now to take a timeout. Now here's Tommy Grosson arguing with the referee. Kenny Turner's going back at him. I don't know what they're looking for. Says he's looking for a fair shake over there. Winthrop's been playing good defense. They're pushing the ball up the floor. And Ramsey, the last 2 times, has taken 2 tough shots. 2 tough shots. You want the ball right now in Marcos, Calvin, or down low to Lewis Seaton. And there's plenty of time left. There's plenty of time. You got 4:59. No hurry. You might want to see Patavos in the next minute or two if they continue to be down by 8 or 10. But right now, there shouldn't be in that much of a hurry. Defense is the big thing. Now, see, they're going to give it up. Right? And here comes Marcos. See?
As the Vikings keep pushing the ball.
That's the 5th on Sanchez. He's gone. Glasgow has to go to that zone pressure. I hate to keep frowning on it. They're taking Marcos and Calvin right out of the game. Right out of the game, and Coach Grosser has to recognize that.
Foul on Sanchez. That's his 5th. His day is done. See who Coach Grosser will put in.
Yeah, Tommy will have 30 seconds to replace him. Once they...
Because he's still working the officials.
Yeah, what I don't understand here is Sanchez is still on the floor.
Grosser's been working the officials since early that last time out.
Yeah, I don't understand this one at all. At this point, Sanchez should be off the floor. So, one of the referees should have told him that was his 5th. Now, the other one official should tell the coach, the other official should tell the player, I believe.
Well, they put in Matt Lorino, as he'll go in and take his down low position.
Well, Matt's had a big game down low. See if he can continue to clear some boards off. Maybe get an easy shot or 2.
Here's where the foul shots are big now for the Vikings. And it goes. Stuzero showing good form at the line.
Come on, Paul.
Both go, 12-point lead.
You're going to show some patience now. Get a good shot.
Marcos to Calvin, right in his face is Gavin. Calvin forcing it out. It goes! Unbelievable shot.
Boy, his hang
Unbelievable
time.
shot.
His hang time is incredible. Just incredible. That's a big time shot.
He forced it up there. He got fouled.
Yeah.
Cuts the lead to 10 and has a chance to cut it to 9. He'll be on the line. As he's been relatively quiet, as you see a good close-up of him on your screen. He's been
So
relatively
Calvin up there
quiet.
looking at the clock, 10 points. There's plenty of time. You just got to stay in your rhythm, stay in the game. Don't get caught up in the score and just play basketball.
Pass goes in, and it goes out of bounds. A bad pass by Sanchez.
Geez, did I call for a 1-2-1-1 press about 2 minutes ago in this game?
Starting to work now.
Perfect. You really have to do it.
Pass comes way up top to Bartow. Calvin for 3, and nothing doing. Calvin steals it. Marcos diving in
determination there by Calvin, as well as Marcos.
Calvin getting hands on the ball. It's loose. Calvin picks it up with a steal.
Yeah, he's everywhere tonight.
He's pushing the ball right up court. Passed all wide open is Bartow down low. And now the Classical Rams are picking it back up here. 62-55.
Now
Here
they got to
comes
pull
Doherty.
out. They got to pull out.
Doherty takes steps. Oh, and the momentum is definitely switching over to the Rams play. Vikings call a timeout.
Yeah,
4:17 left now. They were down by 12 just a couple seconds ago. Here it is, 62-55.
Yeah, 4:59, they were down 12 points. So we're now like 32 seconds later. They're only down 7. They made up 5 points in a half a minute. There's plenty of time left in this ball game.
Calvin's everywhere.
Wow,
He put
just
the
wonderful.
jumper, got fouled. He took another 3-point, missed. He ended up, him and Marcos crashing in the corner, as you see both of them right there on your screen. Marcos diving into the cheerleaders. And then he came all the way back down court, running the whole court to steal the pass, tip it, give it back the loose ball, drive it all the way back up, give it a Bartow, easy lay-in, Bartow.
You know what else happened, Shane, at the 4:59 mark? Winthrop went ahead by 10 or 12.
And broke their momentum.
And no, they called a timeout.
Called a timeout.
It was a very poor timeout, in my opinion. Came back, they gave Classical a chance to regroup. They had Classical on the ropes at that point. And they called a timeout. Geez, the game is so far from over. Should have kept the pressure on him.
Here's Calvin now. He forces up a shot, doesn't go. Rebound Gavin. They're getting in all the way across, wide open, and the ball drops as Truzero puts the ball back in.
Yeah, they get the ball to the open man.
Marcos showing his good crossover dribble to Bartow. His Bartow's pass.
Almost right at us here. Thought you were going to catch that one. If I get one, I'm shooting it. I'm going to make a 3, I'm telling you right
Give the
now.
Rams a little help here. Bartow loses it. Ball bounces around. Bartow has it.
Well, it's like a hot potato out there.
Echeverria shot high. Doesn't go. Eaton with the rebound.
Oh, Lewis Eaton from nowhere. Calvin with the NBA 3.
Way out. Ball rolls out. It is Vikings ball. Now it's 3:32.
Yeah, they've got to show some patience. There's still plenty of time.
Calvin, get the ball from behind. A beautiful steal. We have a diving up backcourt.
Yeah, that's a good call.
His feet were behind there. That's a very good call.
That's a wonderful call. He left from the backcourt. That's where he's from. Great job by the official.
Here's Calvin now being pressured by Gavin. Calvin turns into a shit, and he'll be fouled by either Gavin. Looks like the foul will be on Gavin. Oh, it'll be on Godfrey, number 15, his 4th of the game. 64-55, Calvin at the line for 2. Is Calvin hurrying his shots? He goes down and he's just taking the jump shot right away.
You know, he's trying to take control by himself. He's got to understand there's 5 guys on that team. I know he's a wonderful player and a wonderful shooter, but if you get double team or someone's in your face, give it up. Everyone on this team could score. And you can't do it all by yourself.
Oh, he's picked up his 24th point. 25. So again, here they are at the press. Bartow, Marino, passes loose, ball picked up, Eaton, here comes CJ.
Good job by
Long pass
pressure.
up to Marcos, back to Eaton, block, and it'll be a foul from behind. As this game, the pace is definitely picking up here in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, you know what made that turnover? 1-2-1-1 full court pressure. Glasgow's got to stay in it.
You should be a coach.
Yeah.
At the line, Lou Eaton. Eaton's first shot goes. Eaton, that's his 11th point of the game.
There's some big games in the Northeastern Conference tonight with Swanscott, Salem, and Gloucester and Marblehead, but I'm going to tell you, I think there's none better than the one we got here right here.
We're going to have a foul on Marcos.
No, I think Marcos was out of bounds. They didn't call him out of bounds.
Trapped in the corner was Truzero. Here comes Gavin. Gavin pushing it back. Godfrey, Truzero. Wide open down low. That was Scotty Sanchez.
Yeah, we're under 3 minutes, by the way.
Here's Calvin. Calvin wants the ball. He goes up, and he gets slammed down. Foul beyond Danny Godfrey. Well, they put it up as Michael Gavin for his third.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have Calvin in the one-on-one. I think they got him before the shot there. Bonus both ways for the rest of the game.
It goes.
Doesn't matter if it's one-on-one with his touch at the line.
Yeah.
It's pretty much guaranteed.
And
All net, yeah.
And they need these foul shots while the clock's stopped. That rolls around, doesn't go.
Ooh, I put the
Marcos
jinx
the ball
on him.
loose, it's out, and they call it a Rams ball.
Oh, they're going to give it a green, yeah.
They're gonna give it to the Rams. And Marcos everywhere. That kid is everywhere. He gets it up top to Calvin. Calvin going right back in, dumping it to Bartow for two. Doesn't go. Calvin rebound. Calvin right on baseline. Shot doesn't go. Ball stripped loose. It's gonna be a jump ball.
It's going to be Winthrop ball in the possession arrow.
2:31, 66-59.
Now they set up their 1-2-1-1.
Coach Turner, assistant coach of the Rams, head coach of the JV, shouting to set it up. Wide open Gavin. Gavin's going to take it. Doherty from three. Doesn't, elects not to. In Sanchez, that's stripped away by Lorino. Sanchez again stripped away by Lorino. Calvin from behind with a
Oh,
steal.
what a wonderful steal.
Here comes Calvin. He's going to go up. Shot strong, doesn't go. Ball in Cesaro's hands, who picks up the dribble. 2 minutes left. Gavin turns. Gonna bring it over. Doherty. Cesaro.
Oh, Calvin's hands everywhere.
And we're gonna get Calvin on the foul. As he run into Cesaro. Buck 52 left. 7-point lead. Cesaro will be on the line to take a one-on-one situation.
Yeah, Calvin has just been everywhere.
5 minute mark, he's been everywhere. Since then, he's been everywhere.
So determined. We're going to get Ramsey in for Lorino. I think Coach Gross is looking for a little bit of speed right now. Probably get Lorino back for defense.
He got his hands in a couple times with the strips down there on defense. Getting the ball loose. Shot goes.
Winthrop's been very, very big at the line tonight. You know, but I go back to that time of the game when Winthrop took Marcos and Calvin out of the Glasgow's defense, and they had that little 8 or 10 point run.
Rebound.
And it's the difference right now.
Gotta get them rebounds. Pass way back up top. Doherty. I'm gonna get a foul on Ramsey.
Yeah, minute 36 right now. Glasgow's forced to foul.
Panic time now, 67-59.
Nice ball movement there by Winthrop.
No more lob passing, as you seen earlier. They're zipping the passes from person to person.
Take your time. Take your time to bend your knees, Jack.
First foul on Ramsey. Goes. 9-point lead.
There you go, Bob. There you go.
10-point lead. Calvin wants the ball now. He's going to take it in. Little razzle-dazzle. Jump ball, Rams ball. Should be Rams ball.
Yeah, big rebound by Lewis Eaton there. Big rebound.
That was the jumping. He was up there to get that. Up top, Ramsey, Calvin. Calvin leads in for the foul. Nothing there. Ball's out. Vikings ball. 123, 69-59.
Gonna have to foul right away.
Ramsey, they'll get the foul on Ramsey. We're in for a shocker here.
I think Coach Gratz got to look at getting Fotopoulos in too, one of the three-point shooters. He's got to get all his three-point shooters in right now.
Calvin, when he goes up, he's looking for the foul every time.
Yeah. And right now, this is really going to open up a can of worms in the Northeastern Conference, because could give Glasgow now 2 losses, and Salem, they're going to go into Salem a week from Tuesday if they both keep winning, but we never know. Salem was over the Swampscott tonight. You don't know what's going to happen. And then Winthrop's done a wonderful job in their foul shots in this game.
Here's Calvin, deep three, nothing. Bound by Godfrey. chucks it over. Wide open Gavin. He's just going to lay it back. And that right there's the nail in the coffin. Minute left. Marcos pushing it up. Marcos takes a three short. Rebound by Marcos, laying it back. It goes. Foul on Bartow.
Well, you know, Glasgow's come back from that Salem game. They beat Marblehead convincingly, but Marblehead shot very poorly, really. Tough game against Swampscott. They had a big game against English, and then a tough game over the Beverly. Hopefully, Coach Grosser, you know, I heard him on the radio earlier tonight talking about he's been having a tough time getting the kids motivated. They spoke about it in practice, and they're going to have to find it before they step into the tournament. The talent level on this team is so incredible, but they're really not playing with a lot of motivation right now.
Marcos rolls it around again and in.
And I'll tell you what, Winthrop keeps their tournament hopes alive. They're a real scrappy team.
Calvin will get called for the foul. Well, Coach Grosser was quoted in the item the other day as saying he's really not pleased since that Salem and English game. Since then, the motivation, as you said, hasn't been up.
Yeah.
They beat Marblehead, and they've beaten a couple others, but they haven't been up. They've been close games. They keep the teams in the game.
Well, you know, it's very tough. You know, the kids have been playing for 2 or 3 months now. They've had 15 or 16 games. They had a big win streak dating back to last year that was snapped like last night. But it's very tough to keep the kids motivated at this time of the year, and it's you've got to dig down, and you've got to have the kids who will step up. And they really haven't been challenged by a lot of the teams. They think it's an automatic win. They just have to show up. And they're finding out tonight, as they did against Gloucester, that they've got to be ready to fight with this state tournament coming up. But I think a loss to a good team like this on the road, Winthrop has just played incredible. They blew out Swampscott a couple of weeks ago. I think it's we'll send that wake-up call to Glasgow that's necessary to get them ready for the state tournament. I hope that happens. It's a very talented team.
Yes. Rebound Marcos. He's going to push it right up. Pulls up. 3. Nothing. The lid has moved on to that end of the court tonight.
Yeah, we're under 20 seconds now. It's 16.9 seconds. And Winthrop's starting to play the bench. And boy, I'm going to tell you, these kids played a wonderful game tonight. You know, it's a little payback because Glasgow came over here and beat them at football this year, and didn't sit too well with the people over
Vikings
here.
in football. Sanchez, Doherty, Godfrey, Struzero, Casey Butler, Anthony Cotto, Michael Gavin all played their hearts out tonight, and they pulled it out. They're up 75-63. On the other side of the ball, Calvin has 26 points, Marcos with 10, and Eaton just missing the triple-double. He has 11 points, 11 rebounds, 9 blocks.
Well, he's still in the game. He might get another block.
Yeah. Rebound by Ramsey. Marcos pushing it up. Free go. It's all academic right now, though. Ball taken by Calvin. Calvin inching his way closer to the all-time record with 2 more. 1.8, 75-68. And Glasgow kept this team around early, and then they worked for it after that.
Well, we mentioned it earlier that there was no question that Glasgow really outplayed this team. I would say the first 20 minutes of the game. 16 in the first half and the first 4 in the second half. But when you let a team that's scrappy hang around,
as we said,
the dog's going to come and bite you. It really is, and it happened tonight.
Shot missed, rebound Marcos. Deep shot, nothing. And a shotgun here in the Northeast Conference, making that game against Salem even bigger now. It's Glasgow picking up their second loss and pushing them to 12-2, 13-2 overall, 12-2 conference, as you see the teams there. And tough loss for the Rams, but as you said, hopefully a wake-up call for tournament time.
Yeah, you know, it's not a bad loss if they can respond to it. And They didn't respond very well to the Gloucester loss. They played a couple of tough games after that. But if they can respond at this time of the year, going into tournament time, I think it might be a big loss. The only thing, you know, that it may affect is their seeding when it comes to tournament time. But at Division III, if I was Glasgow, you don't worry about who you're going to play. They face enough tough competition in this Northeastern Conference with the Winthrops, the Gloucesters, the Salems, the Swampskits, Beverleys, night in and night out, Lynn English, that you're ready for Division III opponents. So I think it could be a real big eye-opener for them. So, and hopefully they'll take advantage of that.
Let's hope it is. Well, for Dennis Skeetis, I'm Shane Mantola. We're wrapping it up on a disappointing Rams evening, 75-68, Vikings taking it. Thanks to our producer, Super Dave McCarthy, also on camera. We're going to take off. Have a good night.